Hi,
Now.
everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Welcome to the second edition of the Sunday Superman Show, where not only are we going to talk all things Superman, but we are going to do my 529 subscribers giveaway, which, of course, was in honor of the number of issues for Adventure Comics in the end. Joining me tonight, we have Mr. Stephen Gettner himself, Collecto 6. And Big
Greetings.
Lyle, all the way from British Columbia.
Hi, everybody.
I have posted in the chat earlier the link to follow for the video to qualify for the big drawing tonight. You've got to go to that video and be a subscriber, first of all, and then go to that video, and I'm going to post it one more time now. Go to that video and comment hashtag I have that. And that will be how you will qualify for the thing. We're going to do the drawing just around 9:45. So you still got some time to subscribe and comment if you wish. In the meantime, we're going to talk Superman and Superman comics. I would like to say before we get completely started that this week in Superman news, the swag is with the new Superman, David Cornsweet, and I looked it up. That's apparently how you pronounce his last name. David Cornsweet swag, and the promotional materials are going to be available this week. It'll be the first statues with him as Superman are going to be coming out, and apparently in 2 weeks' time we're going to get another trailer. So I'm looking forward to that. And so let's go around the horn here first and just say hi to our guests, and then we'll say hello to the chat. Hi, Stephen.
Hello, Matt.
I'm glad you could join us today. You had a busy day over on Bleeker's channel.
I was happy when I get a request or an invitation from Matt Atkinson, the answer is you say yes. Because when Matt Atkinson speaks, people listen.
And Lyle, I'm glad you could make it tonight. Oh, very nice T-shirt, Lyle.
I'm surprised I was still able to get into it.
Yeah, well, I used to have so many Superman and Supergirl T-shirts that I've fatted out of, and I can't keep on there now. All right, let's say hello to everybody in the chat before we get really going. We've got TM Nerdy. Welcome, Travis.
Hi, TM.
Hi, Eric from SideQuest.
Hi, Eric.
SideQuest.
Rich from Big and Nasty.
Big Nasty.
Big Nasty.
Hi, Bjorn from Son of Crom.
Bjorn.
Looks like we all showed up early to get good seats. I would agree.
Very good.
Next up is somebody I have no clue is.
Festival seating. That you have to get there early. Festival seating, right?
Buttface McBooby.
Oh, Lord Almighty.
Now, this is true. This date in Canadian history, Canada's first newspaper, the Halifax Gazette, published in Halifax by John Bushnell. That is correct. And apparently today is my second Sunday Superman show. Thanks, Crom. Robbie, welcome to come. Welcome to the show. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. More like a single elevator ride, but thanks. Thomas is here. Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
Let's see here. We've got Kay Munin. Hi, Kay Munin. Now, Son and Crom's comment right now required me, if you don't mind, I'm going to make myself big for a little while, required me to go get a book out of my collection there, Superman 285, where Clark searches for a missing kid who stars in TV commercials. And the comic has a letter to the editor from Jim Steranko.
What year is it?
This would be 50 years ago, so this would be
75.
75.
Lord.
I was just a wee lad.
Yeah. Of course, that story about the TV commercials, just gives it away so much on the cover there. The kid in the corner here is the kid that's in the TV. The kid basically is a spoiled brat, if I remember the story correctly. He was a spoiled brat that Superman basically came to, teach him humility, so to speak. So let's keep going here. Hi, Robbie Josephs.
Robbie?
Let's see.
Hey, Robbie.
Here. We've got Up and Adam at Up and Adam Comics. Hi.
Greetings.
Glad you can make it. We've got Eric Casagrande tonight.
Mr. Casagrande.
The big house.
We've got Chonko.
Hey, Chonko, I enjoyed your show.
Hey, Chonko.
You seem, with the technical difficulties notwithstanding.
We've got Ryan Riley in the chat tonight. Hi, Ryan.
Ryan.
We've got Gotham and Glam. Hi, Celia.
Good day.
Good evening.
We've got Mike Dennis.
Big Mike.
Hi, Mike.
And this is a comment that I will agree. I like the poster too. The movie poster has hit the things. We've got JSS. Hi, JSS. And we've got Susan. Hi, Susie.
Susie Q.
Susan who?
Susie Q.
I never heard of her.
And we've got Patrick Sargent. Welcome to the show.
Sergeant.
All right. So tonight, after, as I said, I've given the news with the new stuff coming out with the movie and such. This was also, I believe, the anniversary week of when number 4 came out, Quest for Peace. I may be reading the wrong date. It may have said May instead of March, but supposedly the Quest for Peace came out this week, back in 1985, I think.
Request for Peace for what are we talking about?
No, the Quest for Peace, Superman 4, the Quest.
Oh,
for Peace.
okay. I said, God,
Yeah.
we were at war in '85. I think Reagan, or was it Grenada?
No. It's the Quest. It's the movie where Superman plays with the nuclear missiles.
Ah, well, at least someone's playing with them.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to turn it over to my guests to show some Superman stuff, and we'll keep talking about joining the giveaway. And in about 20 minutes or so, I will show the prizes, and we'll go from there. Stephen, we're going to let you up first.
Okay, you sure you don't want to let Mr. Lyle go first?
No,
Let
Let's let Mr. Lyle go first then.
Oh,
Stephen.
beautiful.
I think that's only fair. Age before beauty.
I was going to sit there and just...
Don't confuse me because I have both. Hi,
Sorry.
Terry. Take ask Bartholomew.
Well, I just wanted to show you this one, Matt, because I'm not sure if you're aware that there was a new Justice League member. They called it the new team captain. I thought you'd be impressed with this one. Shatner's birthday yesterday.
That's right, 95 years old. I think he's going to live to be long enough. I think he's going to live long enough to be Captain Kirk.
Yeah, didn't think he'd be around this long. So this one here is DC Comic Presents, number 25.
Bless his heart.
That is a very good one.
Do you have the whole run there, Matt?
I have the whole run, and if I remember correctly, that's the Jonathan Ross book. If that's a kid on the...
It is, yes, John Ross. And then I have DC Comic Presents number 60.
Very nice.
That looks like Gil Kane to me.
Sure does.
Gil Kane did a bunch of the covers for Superman in the 80s.
Number 56.
Yes, that's another good one.
This is Crisis Superman from January 1986.
Yes. In that issue, apparently Supergirl was married.
Oh, really?
Says right there on the cover, Supergirl's secret marriage.
The last time I read this was probably 1986. Number 50.
Number 50. Very nice.
And who was the atomic skull, right?
The atomic skull.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Then we got number 13.
Another good one. That's part of the Jonathan Ross story as well.
Yep.
That is the Legion and Superman.
Well, was the Legion fighting him, or was that a fake?
Well, no. What happened was that Jonathan Ross was. I did a video on this storyline.
This was
Jonathan
number-
Ross was kidnapped by aliens because he was supposed to be the future general that would save the universe from these outside people, because he becomes a big general and helps build the ships and the system and all that stuff. And the Legion knew this, and they were trying to stop Superman from bringing him back, because in this issue, Pete Ross finally reveals to Superman that he knows who he is. And you go save my son because I kept your secret all this time. And Superman.
Oh, I remember now. You told this. Yeah. I remember now. Thank you.
Superpowers number 2.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's Newsstand.
Yeah. I love how Plastic Man has a big starring role in that.
I have that complete set. I bought him in a fell swoop.
Do you have this one?
Nix.
No, I don't have that one yet.
This one's issue 112.
I do know that Nate picked that up not too long
ago. The Neil Adams cover from 1968. I know you have this one, but I'll show it again.
Yes, it's a beautiful book.
I think you have it, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And this is World's Finest from 1953. I've shown it before. I like the cover. This is World's Finest number 64.
Is that Shelley Moldoff on the cover, or who did the cover on that one?
I think it's Moldoff.
Well, I usually have notes on the back, and it's not marked.
Okay.
But you're probably right. And then the last one for this round is the World's Most Dangerous Villains Wanted. This is number 9, and it's got Superman on the cover.
That was a fun series, Wanted. They gave you good stories in those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9. I thought I'd show this
Although
one.
The Prankster is a little, I wouldn't put him necessarily in the most dangerous villains, but he was certainly annoying.
Right.
I would say that annoyance is a very apt adjective for the prankster.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, who was more annoying, Mxyzptlk or the prankster?
Mxyzptlk by a mile. Mxyzptlk by a mile.
I would agree.
He was absolutely the most annoying.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that Batmite was so much annoying as he had hero worship, and he's trying his best.
And that's true.
And all he was trying to do was to help make them heroic and have everything turn out okay. He didn't have a mean bone in him when I read him, but you know.
Yeah, no, he was Batmite was all hero worship. In fact, what Batman found annoying about him was that he got involved and sometimes if he thought Batman was winning too easily, he'd help the villain a little bit along so that Batman would look even great.
And that part, now, in fact, that part was annoying, but he was not. Mxyzptlk is a pain straight through. Yes. I think they made him helpful a couple times, but yeah.
I don't know why, to Susie Q's question, why my comic books look so big. Maybe it's because I've got it on the magnifier, because I need new glasses and it's starting to blur. So maybe that's why they look so big.
Okay, you have a magnifier going. Okay, fair enough. I didn't know that. Good for you.
I didn't know they had one. That's awesome.
I got it on 100 on the Zoom. It goes up to like 200% or whatever. Got it at 125. So maybe that's why.
Well, then you're 1 1/4 bigger than Susan. I said, well, it's just the perspective, and I was incorrect. You called it right, Sue. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And she did say that I had thick, nice blonde hair, very well coiffed. Well, so thank you.
Well, there must have been a problem with the television. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
I've just posted the link to the video again. All right, let's see what Steven's brought tonight.
I just got this, and I was very happy. It was in an auction. I picked up, in the same auction, I picked up a 9/8 Harley Quinn #1 that had been cracked. The guy he had dropped the slab and cracked it, and he was selling his store. So he basically it didn't hurt the book, and so he basically just extricated the book and then just sold it. He showed this guy that bought it. It was a 9.8, and then and that's the one that I have the piece of original art to. And I have another copy of it, but my copy wasn't. I mean, mine's I think a 9.6 or something.
Well, that's a good one.
It depends on who's flirting, you know. But the other book, the first book that was up was this one, and I think I have one somewhere, but I did. This is a nice enough book. If I have it somewhere, I will try to find it. But I looked through all my Superman books and I didn't see it. But it may be there because it's sort of in the back of it. Maybe. All right, fine. There it is.
I love this book because it's the first ever Crypto solo book where he's on an adventure by himself.
Yes, and it's Alex Ross cover too.
Yeah. And
so I just want
Alex Ross did a bunch of covers for the Superman people for about 2 months around that time.
Okay. I decided to go back in time, how unusual for me, and I decided that I was going to show Superman from 1940, and I'm going to show you my world's best, I mean world's finest. So here is issue number 1 of World's Best.
That is a great book. You know, I love that cover because not only do they list, of course, the features in it, but the fact that Superman, Batman, and Robin were on the cover together. Now, I know they were on the cover together of the second World's Fair.
Yeah, Fair 40.
Yeah, Fair 40. But, you know, this is the natural outcrop from that. But this cover is just so beautiful.
Well, that's a 15-cent cover. It must be from 1970. I'm kidding.
Do you know the thing was that the whole annual thing, this set of books that I'm showing you here tonight was the very first Golden Age run that I wanted. And the reason I did was because of number 6, which was the cover of it was at my grandparents' house, and my grandmother had just ripped it off the comic.
Oh.
And she'd use it as a divider for one of her art projects. She always would have styrofoam elves and things like that. She enjoyed it, and she'd have on the tables and stuff. She had fun with that, which was fun. But I was down there because over at Grandma and Grandpa's house, there wasn't a whole hell of a lot to do. So we go down in the basement and stuff. That's where we found my grandfather's World War I stuff, actually, in his trunk was down in there. So, I looked and looked for that 6. I couldn't find it. And the dealer, who was the dealer I actually traded my entire Silver Age collection to, was the dealer. And he had gotten in 3 collections and was able to put together a run of World's Best. And then it turns into Finest with number 2, World's Finest. And so what I'm showing you are the very first Golden Age books I ever bought. And so these are from 1988. Here's issue number 2, World's Finest, basically the first World's Finest.
That one, I believe, is Jerry Robinson, the cover. Certainly looking at Robin. That certainly is style of Robin.
I don't think so. I think that it's I don't know if it's Jack Burnley or Fred Ray. I think it's Fred Ray.
Oh, but it sure looks like Robinson.
So, Mr. Lyle, can you look on your computer? No, you can't. I know you can't.
am. I'm looking on my phone.
I don't know where he is at the moment.
I just hope that he stays there.
Yeah. If he's sleeping, good for him.
I think he should sleep.
Yeah. Hi, Lau. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Lau. Thank you. This is the first appearance of the Scarecrow.
Fred Ray.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's all right. Fred Ray is a very gifted artist, and he did a lot of the very best covers on with Superman, particularly on Superman and World's Finest. His work is beautiful.
The script was from Jerry Siegel and pencils were by Paul Cassidy.
Paul Cassidy was one of the very first ghost artists for Schuster.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Because Cassidy could do such a beautiful job of it, and even at that point, Schuster's eyesight and his ability, he didn't have the ability to crank stuff out. It was very difficult. His vision was problematic.
Well,
So
somebody
that's
on the
issue.
chat. Sorry, somebody on the chat was looking for one, but they've got some on my comic shop. They got a 6.5 here for 3,500
Of issue what?
of the issue you just showed.
Well, this one, in what grade?
A 6.5.
Well, this one's probably anywhere. It's probably somewhere in an 8.5 or so.
And then they have a 5 for 28.95 and a 4 for 3,000. Yeah.
The look at that. See, that the thing about these 96 pages is they had the glued cardboard type sides, and
Anyway.
they fall apart quite easily back then.
The cardboard covers went from issue 1 with World's Best, actually with Fair 39. And the reason they went to 15 cents was that was the price point that basically people could do it. And the whole thing about World's Finest that I always liked and I have talked about is that with Action Comics, you got one Superman story. With Batman, or with Detective, you got one Batman story. In World's Finest, you got both Superman and Batman, and then a huge cast of other characters: Green Arrow, Aquaman, Crimson Avenger, any number of them, Sandman. There's just a raft of them in here, and they said, the world's finest. So what they would do is they would cycle these characters in for a stream of different stories, and then all manner of little stuff inside and jokes and fun stuff, because 96 pages is a lot.
Hi, Katie.
Yeah, for 15 cents. But, 15 cents was a lot of money then, because,
Oh, it's incredible. It's very expensive.
But
But
these
you
are
got-
96 pages as well.
There are
And
96 pages, which literally you're really getting your value on it. But it was a chunk, but they really gave you a lot of these. And the thing about these books, I got them long enough ago that these were still somewhat available. And so when he put this run together, they're all just very, very lovely books.
yeah. That one's from about 1941, right?
Yeah, the war has started. And here's the baby right here. This was the one that the book that launched 1,000 ships, or comics.
For sure.
What a beaut.
Aren't those fun?
Yes.
Well, is that one of the giveaways tonight?
No, sadly.
I can't give it away.
I'm fooling now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
This is a very famous one where they're on the basically the barrels of this battleship. Probably it looks like a cruiser actually, but we'll call it a battleship.
Probably the USS Missouri.
It's a little early for Missouri. That was later in the war. The fast battleships came later. This would have been more in tune with, what was it, Pearl Harbor.
Oh,
And those were the ones from the 30s. California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah.
Yeah.
All of those that were really... The fact is that even if we had gone up against the Japanese with those capital ships, we would have been waxed terribly because they could not go fast enough to catch. The Japanese would have been able to engage us and then leave before the guys could even get to them, or they could decide where and when and how they would attack. So it basically, because the aircraft carrier was proven to be the decisive vessel of the war, because air power, and Billy Mitchell proved it long before when he took a Liberty bomber with a 1,000-pound bomb in the Ostfriesland, which was a German battleship that was a war prize from the First World War. And they said, what can you do? You can't do squat. And he dropped the bomb on the Ostfriesland, and down she went. They went, oh. And then they still didn't do anything about it. But the whole idea, I think Cher posed that like that. Who's Cher? Cher what for what?
Cher did the, Cher as in Sonny and Cher?
Yeah?
She did a video on a battleship, and she got up on the gun.
Oh, okay. Well, Cher, that was a little bit later. Here is during the war, and of course, one of the terms they had, hello, chaotic pickle. one
I
of the
know who
things,
Chaotic Pickle is. He's awesome.
sink the Japanazis with bonds and stamps, and that's what they called them, Japanazis. And the interesting thing was that Hitler, applying his standard to us, said that he knew damn well, aren't these beautiful spines, Matt? I know that you appreciate that.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
are
they're gorgeous.
absolutely stunning.
They
Uh,
everything that I've seen has said check your spines on those world's finest, because if they get even the smallest little tear, they'll just rip apart. You got to
well,
be
the
very
thing,
careful with them.
well, you what you do is you don't open them up in a very cavalier fashion. You
Yeah.
have to open them up very gingerly. With a staple in the middle, they'll open as if they want to go. If they don't want to open, you don't open them. But if some like to lay open, then you can do that. But these were the fact was this was such a nice set. This is why I went ahead and jumped. In other words, it's just how these turned out.
Yeah.
Again, this is a very, very prominent, famous World's Finest, where they've got the three thugs, uh, where the three thugs are getting baseballs thrown at them.
Chaotic Pickle. Comics had spines when they were bigger books like this. They still do it today, but the gluing technique is better. Back then, the glue was, I would say, it was more,
Horse glue?
yeah, horse glue, and
Yeah.
not the greatest stuff. And they've had spines. Ask your dad about the 80-page Giants; he'll be able to tell you.
And this is where the Boy Commandos came in by Kirby. Zatara was around even to begin with. I very much like. I have a dividend if we have enough time, but I keep my World's Finest with my leading comics, which is a short run. The leading run, which doesn't have Superman, so I didn't want to show that. But the Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy were big right from
Yes.
the jump. They had them everywhere, and they were here in World's Finest, and it was just good stuff.
It wasn't just that they were patriotic. The concept of the kid being the boss and the sidekick being the adult.
That was new. That was new.
Well, yeah.
And that was Jerry Siegel doing that. And they were so sure that Siegel had a winner on that they went to town. They had him in Action, they had him in World's Finest, and then he was part of the original Seven Soldiers of Victory. And leading one is the first cover appearance of Green Arrow and Speedy, and a very early appearance of them from Morphin 73 area. Now we've shifted away from the war, and we now come into what goes on almost all the way through now with World's Finest, which is they have fun events or sports or action or sight gags that they use for the three main characters, so that basically you can it's more of a entertainment rather than it's against villains. There are villains, of course, but that go on, and so it was just a large number of these. If you would like me to stop, I can stop now and then go long. I mean, I've got plenty to show. I've got the whole run. So
that run that you're showing right now, Stephen, are they all still 96 pages?
yes, they are. They're
Number
7.
96 pages till at least 19 until at least issue 60, if I remember, because
That's right, because I got
one of the reasons they combined the stories was because they were cutting down the pages.
Yeah, because my issue here of number 64 is 68 pages.
Yes, that was the next step.
Yeah.
So the war is still. I was in error. The war is still going on, and these paper drives, which was the perfect way for mothers to get rid of comic books.
Oh, I know all about that.
I wouldn't know. And here, this book is. This one is actually signed by Dick Sprang
Nice.
on page 1.
Your mother didn't throw your comics out?
I got these in '88.
Oh.
So the answer is no.
Looks like we're going to have a new one called Frozen Steven.
Look at the color strike on this.
I know.
Very nice.
Batman with the catcher's mitt. How he gets the glove in there, I don't know.
Well, he's Batman, isn't he?
Very true.
Like a glove.
Like a glove. So now we're rock climbing. Aren't these fun? I love this. This title is so nice.
It's such a beautiful title. Like
It is.
World's Finest is one of my favorites too. I do have quite.
You
a few
don't
of
see
them.
them. You just don't see them.
Nope.
I see them a lot for like $2, $3 when I do see them, and I pick them up every time.
Now, this is the last cardboard cover, is number 17 with the rickshaw cover. And so then the ones that follow this, a lot. I mean, an enormous amount of books. And that doesn't count when they were being burned in the 50s. I mean, the attrition for these. This book here is a very, very difficult book to find in grade. It still has the square binding, but this is now just the cover stock paper, and it's rather thin. So, and you see how white this is, how white it is. And if you look at the top,
that's
you can see the paper, the selvage that's up on the top there, because the cutters were not, and I haven't done anything. I mean, I haven't shown these in a long time. They just live in their box comfortably. And they have the smell on these books is just wonderful. The old newsprint, and then the old paper. It just have a wonderful scent to them. Here's issue 19.
Yes.
Yeah, I opened mine up and the moths come out.
The myths can't get in.
I know they don't. They don't.
Very true, Knives. You want to be rich. If you're a collector, that's for sure. These are beautiful books.
Thank you.
You got all of these in one shot, is what you're saying.
Yes.
It's impressive. That really is impressive.
In the 60s?
1988.
88. No.
And the what happened was that I told him, and you know what he brought down at the same time? He brought down a complete set of Phantom Lady to show me. And he says,
Wow.
and he said, this Phantom Lady run is less expensive than the entire World's Finest run in 88. I said, you've got to be kidding me. And I looked at the books, and of course Fox Features, the paper is just cheese. I mean, and it's the bleed through and all the other stuff, the charming thing about Fox Features. But, you know, these sorts of things, these books just don't get the love that they should. And it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. But I love them so much.
Yeah, they're amazing. Like, part of me wants to get the World's Finest books before the older Superman ones, but the other part of me says, no, you want Superman in action. It's such a tough call because these are so beautiful. My oldest Superman book is a World's Finest book, and that's from like 1958.
Was it number 85?
It is.
How the heck did you know that?
Well, I've shown it on there. I was with Alan. Alan was the one who convinced me to buy it. He said, that's an amazing price. You've got to buy that. So I did.
These are ones you just don't really see. You just don't ever see these.
Okay.
And they're very...
A couple minutes.
Okay.
We're going to take a couple minutes right now to show the prizes since we have 30 people at the broadcast right now, so that's a good amount to show what we've got. So I'll make myself big briefly.
Excellent book, Stephen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Prize number 1 is this pile, rebagged and boarded, of comic books. We've got a Weird Award. How'd this get in there? I don't know.
Oh,
One of these. One of these. I know it's weird that there's not more Superman books, but I gave a lot of Superman books that I had in the last giveaway. So there's a full set of this Brigade miniseries because I figured if you're going to give one, you might as well give them all. And this, of course, I call this one the FOMO-based Nate. Got one of those.
cool.
Because a lot of the stuff in here is stuff that Nate's into and got me into, and a lot of the people in the crowd seem to like them too. There is a Zombie Tramp available for those 18 plus. Here's one Superman one. This is a pretty cool one where Jimmy Olsen gets himself in trouble again.
How unusual.
And a Legion book, and the last two are from my favorite universe.
Mm-hmm. Those are nice.
Yes. So hi Tat. Very nice. And of course we get K Munion's
You throw the ferret book out.
the second prize will be a $25 gift card at my comic shop. What I'll need from you if you are the winner of the second prize is I need you to send me your email address because they need that in order to apply to the thing. So if you are the winner of that, make sure that you get contact me on Instagram or my own email is on my main page here. And prizes 3 through 6. Ring it, Steven.
Ring a ding ding.
We've got bells for prizes 3 through 6. So we're going to be doing the giveaway in about 15 minutes. So let's go to Lyle and see what he if he's got more to show.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I dug this out while Steven was showing some books. This one's not in the greatest shape because it was probably, stacked in the bottom of a box that I had bought a long time ago. So this is Superman number 388.
Another nice one. That's a Gil Kane cover.
Yep.
That was around the time Gil Kane started doing covers because
This one's from 1983. This one, Action Comics 548.
yeah, that's another Gil Kane cover. And that's the Phantom Zone villains, I believe.
Yep, it is. And Action Comics 549 is the Canadian variant.
Nice.
You have any of these, Matt?
I have some Canadian variants in opposed. It depends who I buy it from, right?
Jimmy
I
Olsen?
don't actively look for Canadian variants, but I
No,
end
I
up
do.
with a bunch because I'm in Canada. So
Yeah, another Jimmy Olsen one.
that's nice. What number's that? It should be
This
close
is
to the end.
number 153 from.
Yeah. So that's in the last year.
And this one's issue 151.
Very nice.
And issue number 60. This one's from
Number
1960.
60. I have that.
Beautiful.
It's a
Didn't think I
beautiful-
was going to hear that today.
Well, I do have a
And-
lot of Superman books.
Don't feel compelled.
382.
Nice.
Oh, I got Supergirl. Shouldn't have shown that, but Superboy.
Very nice. New Adventures. Hey, that's
First appearance of
that's the
Sunburst.
Japanese guy. Yeah, the Japanese hero, eh?
Yeah, Sunburst,
Sunburst. Yeah.
Public Enemy. And number 35, another Canadian variant.
Nice.
Not that I was looking for it, I just bought it that way. And Superboy, Legion of Superheroes. I'm sure you have that one.
That's the first appearance of Block, if I remember correctly.
Yep,
That's
it
the big
is.
stone guy. Yep.
And another one.
That's a good one. I got that recently.
This one.
Another good one. How Element Lad is killing somebody.
Again?
Allegedly. Allegedly.
And this one.
That's another one. I've got it. That's a hilarious little story. That Superboy ends up with a little sister for a while.
That one's issue 191. We've got another Jimmy Olsen one here.
Nice.
This one's issue 163. Now this
That's
other
the
one,
last Jimmy Olsen issue.
163.
Yes, the next issue 164 was the first issue of Superman Family.
So I bought this one here, but they had a sticker on the front, and I just wanted to show what they thought it was valued, because I bought this about 10 years ago, and this is what they say it was valued at then.
Wow.
And it's not, because it's in like fair condition, and they say it was worth 900 Canadian. I'm like, the Jimmy Olsen number 86, and it's not worth that. It's not worth anywhere near $900.
No.
I paid probably $5 for it. This one here is Superman.
Maybe it was supposed to be a missing decimal point.
Yes. Well, probably. I got this
That
a couple
is
of years
good.
ago.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And another number one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah. This is I usually have it on the back, but there's nothing for the date. Action Comics.
Another good one.
I did that on purpose when you said throw the ferret in the garbage. And you showed this one the other day.
That's right. First appearance of Shadow Lass.
Yep. Neil Adams cover. This is like a foil. This is Action Comics 1050.
Very nice. It's very recent, if I remember.
Yeah,
It's the last couple of years. Yeah.
Alex Ross foil variant. This is Action number 1021.
Okay, I'm going to post one more time the link to my to the video I'm taking comments on. We are going to do the draws about 10 o'clock.
1020.
No 10.
And issue 1018.
Nice. That is enough. I really like when they do the covers like that.
Thanks. Yep.
So what I'll do is I'll pass it on. I'll show a couple quick ones, and then I'll pass it on to Steven to continue with his World's Finest.
I have a surprise for you, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to do this real quick.
No, take your time.
Okay. I pulled out a few last week that I didn't get a chance to show, so I decided to bring them out this week. It's a Superman 300, which has an interesting story of what if Superman landed in 1976 instead of, it's a 76 book instead, and it's called Superman 2001, and it's amazing how much technology they think Earth has in 2001. It's a great imaginary story, and it's one I recommend people. It's been reprinted many times. I recommend people read it. And here is 301. It's the first. It is when Solomon Grundy moves from Earth 2 to Earth 1 and fights Superman. Normally, Grundy, of course, those that remember, was a villain that went up against Green Lantern and the Justice Society on Earth 2. Well, on Earth 1, Superman becomes his worst enemy. Here's Superman 302. Luthor manages to make Superman 9 feet tall to make him awkward in a fight, and it works for a while, but the Atom saves the day.
That makes sense. The big and small, right?
And here we've got Superman fights an android that can split into two, named Thunder and Lightning. And this is the first appearance of Albert Michaels, who becomes the Atomic Skull later. I just thought this was a cool book. And we've got Superman 304, which has Jonathan Ross in it again. But in this one, the Parasite is the main villain, and what he's done is he's managed to find a way to siphon off his Superman's energy and give it to other people. And when he does that, part of Parasite's anger and hatred for Superman also goes through, and Superman ends up trying to fight a bunch of kids that which he can't use his full powers against, right? So it has a neat ending. And here we have, this is the last one I'm going to show right now, Superman 305. In this, at this time period, the original Toyman Winslow Schott has gone good. He is reformed. In this issue, he is decided to go back to being bad, and he actually kills the second Toyman in this book, Kimball. I don't remember his first name, but the one with the weird looking one with the hat that was on the cartoon Super Friends. He kills him in this issue. So let's go back to Stephen.
Now, Matt, in order for you to be truly a Superman fan, there is one thing that you'll have to do eventually in your lifetime, and that is to be able to hold on to something that is one of the coolest collectible things having to do with hello Biggie.
Hello, Biggie.
With that, and that is to become a member of the Superman of America Club.
Oh yes, that is gorgeous.
I went online and just fluked into this. The guy had it labeled for auction, and he had a starting bid of $100 for this entire set, and no one bid. I had 100, and I got it for $100. So
amazing.
here is the actual envelope from when this and that it was sent in. How many? There can't be very many of these anywhere.
I don't
but
think
this
there
guy-
are, really.
A lot of times the envelope that they come in is more valuable. Inside, here is part of the stuff you get. Here is the Superman secret code. And then when you turn this on the other side, there's all this secret code stuff. And then it's the stupidest thing. They say, if found, please return to the following address. So the kid would put their address on it if you left the decoder, if you left the Superman secret code decoder, that someone would put it in, drop it in the mail to you to send you your secret decoder back. And so it's because the Superman code is an absolutely secret code for use only for and by members of the great organization. We have designed this special folder, and be sure to keep it in a safe place.
That's right.
Isn't that
Keep
awesome?
it behind lead so nobody can see it, right?
All of this stuff was in the same set. Here is the letter of welcome that you got. And you'll notice down where the type is CK and MN. Now, I don't know who would MN be.
I don't know either.
Okay.
But CK, obviously.
Well, I thought it would be LL, but she's a reporter. I don't know
I
who
know.
MN has to be the secretary. That's how they would do that. You
Yeah.
have the initials of who is doing it, and then who is, I don't know who it would be, but you have been elected a member. All it took was a little bit of money. And we have pleasure in sending you the enclosed certificate of membership, the Superman secret code, and the Superman button. We hope you will be pleased with these. We feel it a blah, blah, blah. Here is the diploma that they give you, which is much bigger.
Wow. Even
And
signed
it's-
by Clark Kent himself.
Signed by Clark Kent in ink.
Wow.
In ink. And it's numbered. And so, again, to the same fella. Isn't this wonderful stuff?
Dan.
And here is the piece that everybody was looking for, and here is the actual button
Very nice.
And this button is from 1941. And it's trademarked. A lot of them, they repop these in the 60s, the late 50s and the 60s, when they started the club up again. And so when you get these, look down on at approximately 5 o'clock of the clock on the pin, and it will show you when it was put out. And a lot of them are from 59, 60, or 61, give or take, because they had the Superman Club going a lot. But this one is actually from the original set from 1941.
Very impressive.
So I just wanted to show you my Superman Club of America set.
That is really cool. And as I've said many times, this is all things Superman. Basically,
I think that qualifies, doesn't it?
Exactly. It sure qualifies.
Hmm.
I mean, like, everybody talks, about their things, but I've just liked the Superman family so much. I've said before that I've always identified with Superman because of he feels like he's alone, and I've always been a bit of a loner. And doing this channel has really opened me up. I'm probably been more social in the past year than I've been in the last decade combined. And this has been great for me. But also recently, Superman being a father, and even Superman has doubts about being a father and if he's doing the right thing. I completely understand that. So to me, Superman has been relevant my entire life. I know he's not a real person, but he's always been an idol of mine. So that's why I do this, and that's why I love him so much, and why I collect all his stuff. Steven, let's see some more of those world finest if you got them.
I do.
Very nice. It kind of is, Lau. I've actually used that title many times, but I've said it, Fortress of Almost Solitude, because with
a family and 2 kids, it's hard to call that solitude.
Exactly. Hi, Bub. Welcome to the show.
This one, I really like this cover. I just like the way it's the composition of this cover.
Yes. This cover should have been reprinted in the weeks that followed September 11th, because they were heroes, they're heroes. It would have made a lot of sense.
This is a really fun one.
Oh, you know what? I actually took my kids to an amusement type thing not long back, and they were Marvel heroes, but they had the cars painted like that with the emblems. Like there was an Iron Man one, a Spider-Man one, and a Captain Marvel one. And so it's cool that concept was done way back when.
Way back when.
Yeah. I couldn't fit through a trapdoor, JX. Now this is probably true K Munin back then. Okay, now that's just showing off the circus boy.
Well, and people forget, the early stories with Robin. The early stories, he has a sling, and a slingshot, but it's a sling. It's not like the rubber band with a Y. It is that he like this, and he let it go. And they show the ball bearing going zing through the panels, and it just clips the villains right in the temple. Robin was far studlier and much more interesting than when he was kvetching and worrying about Batman, and Batman's going to replace me and all that stuff. But Robin when he first started out was he's a it wasn't like you look at Robin and you say, well, Robin's going to get captured, and he plays the role of Tonto so that the Lone Ranger has to save him, that Superman or Batman has to save him. But in the early issues, Robin was not he was not frail in any way. He was tough as nails, and they showed this. And
Thank you,
uh,
Susan.
and I remember, Mr. Matt, when you first started this, and you and I had conversations about it. You weren't sure, and you weren't sure, and I always said, "Well, you've got a lot to say, and you know an awful lot." Then your family got after you, and then you took a swing at it. And you guested some places, and then you got your legs underneath you. And I think that it's made a definite difference. And you have so much to offer. I won't say much about your quiz programs, but I will say that I will say that, and I'm teasing you. But I will say you have a hell of a nice channel. And since it is about 5 minutes to 7, did you want to spin the wheel here? Because we're a little bit
Yeah,
past quarter till.
let's spin the wheels. All right, so I have this collector. No, I have my iPad because I don't know how to do it. I couldn't figure out still how to get this to come up. So we're going to do this with the let's see here, the YouTube comment picker.
Yeah, he helped me out too, Chonko. He asked me to do an interview about 5 months ago, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want to be doing anything like that. And then I was convinced by Steven to get my behind in gear and get out there. So here I am.
Well, both of you guys have a lot to offer and have a lot of interesting stuff. And I think that it's the fact, and I've said this before, is that where you used to be able to go to a friend's house and share comics, now as we're older, there's really no one close by, and yet we can all join each other virtually and enjoy just like we were just going to the other guy's house to see their stuff and share. And I just find that to be so much fun to be able to do. And all the new people that are coming in and what have you. And I've only been at it for, just a couple, 3 years that I've only been doing it. It was only after COVID that I even started Instagram. Up to that point, I wasn't involved in any way with the social media.
Thanks, Susie. It means a lot. I appreciate you.
There we go. I think I'm set up now.
All right.
Took a little more than I was expecting.
Doesn't it always?
It always does. 9. Get YouTube comments. All right. We have 60 comments, people.
Holy crow.
That's
60?
amazing. 60 comments.
Wow.
So I'm going to make myself big so that we can see this. We're going to do the bells first and go up. Okay. So the first winner of a bell, as you can see, is Buttface McBooby.
Hot damn! There you go, Buttface. When you say congratulations, Buttface, I mean, you almost think like you're going to get into a fist fight. Gee, Smurfette looks so comfortable between the Smurfs up there. It's nice that you've given her that. It's nice, and them too.
So the next winner of a bell, as you can see, it's going, and the winner is Darren Smith 9564.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Now I will be posting tomorrow on my page in the little posting area a list of the winners in case you weren't here to see it. So the third winner of a bell is spinning now. Lyle Hobson.
Yay!
Oh, damn, there we go. Now you're talking.
Ding, ding, ding. Thank you very much.
And it's not fixed as people are seeing here. All right. The last winner for the bell is Petin Gil J75. Petin Gil. Petin Petten Gil Gill J75.
Congratulations.
Gil J75. So next up, we've got the winner, as I said, coming up for the $25 US gift card at and I've hit the start. And the winner is Renault-987.
Congratulations.
Way to go. You got your choice of about 8 gazillion million books.
Yeah. And the winner of all the books, and if there's one guy out there who wins it, I've already said I'll replace it with a bell.
And I'll just let you know that if you draw my name, do another draw.
Oh, yes. It's supposed to take your name out if you win.
Okay, I wasn't aware. Thank you.
Okay. The next winner, the winner of the books is Comics Fan 1973.
Awesome. Woo!
There you go.
Congratulations, everybody who has won. I want to take a minute to say thank you to every single one of you who has subscribed. Thank you, every single one of you who has commented on any of my videos. A couple of you have suggested topics that I have done on my channel. There's one coming soon. Somebody wanted to see a Vandal Savage one. I did it. It should be up in about 2 weeks. People, you guys have all been so nice. There has not been anybody, like, for me, this has been a safe, nice place. Everybody has been great. Stephen, Alan, Lyle, Kay Munin, Thomas, Tonko, SideQuest, everybody. Everybody has been nothing but kind. And I really, really, really appreciate that. I will be putting up on my, as I said, a list of all the winners on my, note part there, post on my main page. So if you won and you weren't here tonight, you'll still have a chance to see. I will need addresses from every one of you because you're all people I've never seen before in terms of that. So I don't have your address. Thank you very much. We're going to finish up here. Lyle, do you have another round?
Well, I just have one comic book to show, but I also wanted to show some stuff like some things that I dug out. So one of the last comic I'm going to show is Action Comics number 500, which was an Infinity cover. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that one, right? So in the 70s.
Sorry, JX, are you one of the Bell winners?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't know, but if you are, we'll talk. If you really want one.
So when I was living in Quebec in the 70s, before I moved out to British Columbia, they had a contest, a 7-Up promotion that came out in the 13th of August, 1979. And in the bottom of the cans, they had pictures of Superman like this.
I've never seen that.
So there's
That
this
is pretty
one.
cool.
Yeah. And they're very sharp, even though, I took them out in an old can opener years ago. There's this one. I don't know how clear you can see it. But
I can see it very well.
okay.
Now, is it in French all the way around? Is it saying in French?
Yeah, it says in French, at the top where the promotion, it will end on the 13th of August, 1979. And at the bottom, it says promotion ends August 1379. And then there's this one.
Nice.
Those are so cool. I've never heard of that. They didn't do that in the States.
Hang on a sec here.
Well, we do have our own contests and such.
There's this one.
Nice.
Those are so cool.
Those are cool.
Right.
Boy, we got some real esoterica Superman stuff today.
And this one.
Classic cover.
Yeah, and I got some.
So yes,
And then there's
Stephen,
this one.
JX is one of the winners.
Oh, good enough.
Yeah, he sees the P. He's the one petting Gil.
Yeah, I may have shown.
Oh,
this
okay.
already. Oh, well,
Yep.
there's this one. So
Nice.
that's all I've got for. Oh, hang on a sec. There's another one here that I missed out, and this one.
Very nice.
Okay, that's it there, Matt.
That is cool.
Next time you have another one of these Superman things, I'll dig out my Superman records from the 1940s.
Well, we will be airing in 2 weeks' time again.
Okay,
So-
perfect. Thank you very much.
And of course, anyone who wants to be on the show, by the way, just contact me. I'll be happy to have you. The rules are you got to come on and show Superman stuff and like Superman. Those are the rules. So let's make Stephen big and see some more of those world finest. Nice. Stephen, maybe you can answer this one. What is the best vintage Superman toy? There's so many.
That's almost impossible
Yeah.
to say because there are any number. If you go, but a lot of the toys that you'll find now are from the 70s. One of the ones that they had was one that was made of Sirocco, SCI Sirocco, like a clay image of, or whatever Sirocco is, of Superman. And if you look on there, the valuable collectible Superman stuff, and those things are, the survival rate is probably, now Thomas O'Donnell is correct. There's a Marx tank that basically rolls along, and Superman is underneath. In other words, a painted image of Superman is underneath, and the tank will run along, and then Superman lifts the tank up off of him. And that's a really, and those and Marx Marx made a lot of those. So, and those will be $200, $300, or they may be more now, but they're a few $100s to buy those, and they're very, very cool. The trick to those are, though, you want to get ones that aren't just completely hammered, because the graphics on that is pretty much the coolest part of those. I looked at them a few times, but I've never really pulled the trigger. But but those Marx tanks were probably some of the coolest, and they also have the Superman crypto ray gun, which is, they advertised it, and what it is it's a flashlight, and they have these flimsy celluloid films that you would put into the top of the thing and then slide them through, and then you'd get close to a wall and it'd be like, have your own movies, the super crypto. And the problem is that the heat of the light bulb, because these films were so fragile, and especially now, you'll find the crypto ray gun sets, and they're expensive, but they'll have all the films there. Do not play the films, because if either they'll shatter or break or whatever, because they were not expensive to begin with. But if you look on the back of Superman comics, the Superman crypto ray gun was a big deal. And I've seen them before, and I was tempted, but they are very, very, very fragile things. They are extremely fragile. Like, China is more durable than these. So, because they were not made particularly, they had to make them so that you could get them. In this vintage, which I think we're getting into the late 40s, you'll see that they have the blood drives that they would have in the old days.
Right.
And they also would have about muscular dystrophy and polio and a lot of other things. And the comics back then, in school, when you have the film strip projector, if they said, or if you had a movie and it got stuck and you could see it burn right through the film and off it goes. That's just the way it was. And these things, the crypto ray gun stuff, but if you can find one, the ray gun itself survives pretty well because it's metal or, durable. But the films, finding the little film strips that go into it is really something. But they would lend themselves, the covers, they would lend themselves to do noble things. for the public, as far as for polio and blood drives and community chest and a lot of these others, which
Like
is very
March of Dimes.
March of Dimes, exactly, that kind of thing. Here is the very first appearance, introducing for the first time an appearance of the Wyoming Kid.
Very nice. He didn't last very long, though, did he?
Well, he made a cover, first appearance in a cover.
Superman looks chunky in that cover.
Well, he becomes chunkier as he, the Swan and Boring both.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
One of the things when we were
Michael makes an atom model. Remember that in school?
Here is Superman, Batman and Robin, and then the Wyoming Kid and Green Arrow they show the, and I love the way that they would do this, where they would have the contrasting fancy script that they would put.
JX, I would say it was mostly the publishers, because putting more stuff on sold.
Well, they were trying to raise money, and they were trying to help. Now, if you've ever seen Rock'em Sock'em Robots back in the 40s, late 40s, they had these things at the impetus for that, and the inspiration were these things in the arcades that they were much bigger and more durable, and really hammered them too. But you don't really see them that often now.
Nice. Those are so, I love those so much. I actually had a Superman kite when I was a kid. It was one of my first ones.
When I was a little boy in 1962, for Halloween one year, my mom bought me a Superman suit, and you see them in the comics where they will advertise them.
Yep.
So I put on my Superman suit, and it was, I don't know if it was rayon or something, but you just perspire, right? I had the cape,
Rayon.
and they had a mask that you would wear. Superman didn't wear a mask, but you had a mask. And so I put on this was like 1962, so I'm like 9 or 8. And I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm saluting myself in the mirror as Superman, like this, I was just so good. And when I went to my friend's house to go, and we would go trick-or-treating together, what I would do is I realized I had lost my cape. And so I was distraught. And then the father of my friend had found it. It had dropped off of me in their house before we went out. And so he had a caballero hat that he had, and he had tied the cape so that it was like this drape in front of him like this. And when we opened the door, then he came looming up, and then we were like this, and he says, "But Steve, don't you know?" And he untied it, and he says, "Here's your cape back." So it was fun.
That's a neat story. There we are, roller skating.
I think those Halloween costumes at the time were made by a company called Scout.
There's one, I can't remember, there's an actual company that is famous for it. I can't remember. The 25 is the takedown version that was $6.95. You see the kid, one bolt takes it down. Right. I have 2 of those. One of them has a scope on it, which is not much of a scope, but I had another one, a 25, that the spring mechanism gave out finally.
Yeah, mine did too.
Plymouth, Massachusetts, or whatever. And what happened was, there's an outfit in town that actually works on air guns, BB guns. And when I got home, I had a bird feeder, and every time I would put feed into the bird feeder, the crows would come in and kick all the other birds out and eat everything. And so I wanted to dissuade the crows, not kill it, but to dissuade it. And the crows are smart. And so I shot, and of course it's a smoothbore, the BB gun. And even with the replacement guts to it, which didn't kick nearly as hard as the original, I watched the BB go. It was a sunny day, and it looped, and it came right back, and it hit it dead center here, killed it dead. It just killed it dead, fell out of the fell out of the bird feeder, and I felt so bad. And my youngest son said, "Please, Dad, don't shoot crows." And I haven't ever since. And I have a Pell gun, a Beeman, German made, and they make unbelievably powerful pellet guns.
That's where the murder of crows comes from.
And a murder of crows. And I have a neighbor has a tree that's probably 75, 80 feet high. And all these crows go into that, and they're yelling at me because I wouldn't let them in the feeder. And in a fit of pique, I got just by my fence line, and I basically knocked I hit the crow at the top of the tree, it was one of the biggest ones, and killed him dead. And then they started screaming. It was the damnedest thing. And I haven't done anything. I haven't shot any birds or anything. I have shot a rat. Susan was in the back. We were watching it, and the grass was tall, and the squirrels were coming because the birds eat like a blender on low, and all these seeds are falling out all over everywhere. And so the squirrels come down underneath, and then they're all eating that, and the squirrels can climb up there. They're amazing acrobats as well. And so and then Susan said, "Oh, look at that brown squirrel. Isn't that a big one? Very different." And I'm looking at it and I go, "Oh my God, it's a rat." And so I got my Pell gun, and rats are tough. And I put one right through his shoulder, all the way through him. And he went about 15 feet up in the air, and then landed, and then hobbled and jumped up and then crawled off. And I'm sure that was the end of him. But I mean, they are tough as hell. I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk about killing things. There we go. I have dupes of this, and I don't. Yep. So anyway, it's Tom Sparks, boy inventor, with a super robot. And I had mentioned this. If I said to my mother, "Mom, don't ever buy me fruit boots like this, because if I wore these to school, they would kill me. The guys would beat me to pieces." $8.95.
I'm going to cut you there, Stephen, because I do have to wrap up. I've got to go to work tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. But I want to say before we go that the chat has been particularly entertaining tonight. You have made me and Lyle probably laugh out loud a good 3 or 4 times tonight. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all for joining us. I want to thank Stephen and Lyle very much for coming and showing me their stuff. And to everybody out there, my name is Matt, and I like Superman, and I hope you do too. I will be posting the names of the winners again, as I said, on my post sometime tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.